Hey, what's up, lightboltjoe here. Today we're going to discuss the 2024 Netflix original film, Tyler Perry's The 688. This is 2 hours long. It takes place in 1945, right at the end of World War II. This is about the first all-female blanket battalion that goes to Europe for the Army. Never happened before. And this was a big moment, specifically because segregation was still a thing. This was a big moment in general. And not many people knew it existed. So that's what happens when white history is taught, and not all history is taught. Um, Being able to see this retelling of this story was nice. Michelle Obama had, when she was First Lady, at some point there was an honoring of some surviving members of the 6888 presently. This was well back in the day, obviously 1945 was quite some time ago. So not many members of that battalion are still alive and with us. So it was nice to see some recognition. And Major Charity Adams, I believe, is now, there's like a army base named after her. Kerry Washington plays Charity Adams in this. So it was nice again seeing that. And I think she's the first. Major Adams is the first and only female black officer who has a base named after her at this present moment. So it was nice to see that as well. Of course, with the current Cretan in the White House, things can change at any given moment for the worst, as we're seeing day to day. And it's frightening seeing history be erased when we were finally getting to a point where history is being told. And my least favorite history is American history, because how terrible and awful Americans are. We are the Fire Nation. We are the Empire. And I don't like seeing all of the atrocities that the country's committed, how it was founded, how it was built, how it's been maintained. I don't understand why the lack of compassion is celebrated, and how, because we are the current empire, why that is still being celebrated on our own soil outside of the US. Everybody's making fun of us, and I understand why. So it's interesting. It's interesting when you watch a film on American history that's finally being told, and people just laugh at us because of how we're trying to now eradicate that history. You have to learn history. You have to learn your history, which brought you to the present. The past brought you to the present, and what happens in the present decides on how the future can be. And I do not like how certain individuals in charge currently are trying to eradicate the history which brought us to the present. You can't pretend the history didn't happen. The history happened. We're supposed to learn from it. And by not learning from it, you can repeat it. And that's what we're currently experiencing. Awful. So why did I watch this? Right? I watched this in celebration of history that has not been broadly known. When I was in school, I only learned X, Y, and Z because some white guy wrote a textbook at one point and decided this is what the kids are going to learn. And then when I got older, I started to read up on other stuff that happened that I wasn't taught in school. And I was like, why wasn't I told about any of this? It's because history is changed depending on who writes it. And it's disgusting. The human race is disgusting. I can go on a tangent about that as well, but the importance of this film is to show how far we've come and how detrimental it is to not go back. And I think that's what's very important about something this historically relevant, in seeing that hate, that vitriol, that disgust from all of these racist, bigoted individuals, these xenophobic individuals towards somebody's skin color. Makes absolutely no sense. It makes absolutely no sense. So I guess in hindsight, watching this is a good reminder of how horrible humans are, that there can be beautiful moments, but we are disgusting people because someone at one point said, oh, we don't like them because they look this way. Dumb. We need to break that. We have to change it. It can change, but it's a matter of how it can change. And that's the mystery of what we're currently trying to figure out, and what they've been trying to figure out for many a years, many a decades, many a centuries. Can it change? I hope it can. I do hope. On a technical front, from the film perspective, I thought first, second, third act was fine. I enjoyed the different story arc, getting the bloody letter in the beginning, having that translate into then the end. I liked Lena's character story arc. I thought that was neat. I liked Greg Sulkin playing Abram Davis. Had no clue that he was in this, or I did know and I just completely forgot. I might have read at one point that he was in this, but did not know. And seeing him portray this character, I thought it was great. Having him come back in like ghosty form to help Leslie push through like training and stuff like that. I thought it was great. I thought it was appropriate storytelling. Of course, fictionalized, but I thought it was still appropriate storytelling. I did like how there was the wrap up at the end. I liked the showing the actual footage of the 688. I liked the speech of First Lady Michelle Obama at the end. I liked the little, you know, historical relevance bringing about. Thanks to Tyler Perry for bringing this into fruition, because not many people knew this story. Not many people knew it even was a thing. I knew bits and pieces of this. I didn't know the specifics. I didn't know the 688 number. I just knew that there was once at one point in World War II an all-female black battalion did something. I also didn't know what the something was. I didn't know it had to do with delivering 17 million pieces of mail that was undeliverable in Europe, to which they were given 6 months to do, and they did it in 90 days, 33, half the time. Incredible. So why is this type of film important, aside from everything else I mentioned? When you're presented with history that you're not familiar with, you should read up on it, so that way you are then familiar with it, to then help spread to others who are not familiar with it. Hey, did you know this happened? Let's learn from this. How do we not let this happen again? How do we not let this disgusting vitriol of hate ever happen again? It's important to learn your history, because your present is what then dictates how your future is going to be. And we can't do this alone. We're all in this together. So enough preaching from me, enough philosophy from me. 688, wonderful film, disgusting, horrible. America is disgusting, but it's still a wonderful film. On to the next review. Mahalo.